We are set for the Tyres New Zealand Endurance Championship. This is the big one at Highlands Motorsport Park.
You're watching the Tyres New Zealand Endurance Champs, proudly brought to you by Bailey's Caravans and Alliance Services. It's the quest to find the nation's best, North versus South, in a fierce battle of endurance. Drivers, machine, teams, in a one-day winner-take-all event that is as much about strategy as it is grit and determination. In 2022, it's the South Island's turn to host the world-class Highlands Motorsport Park, welcoming racers from all over New Zealand. This unique, challenging 4.1 kilometre layout has it all. Set just outside the beautiful Central Otago town of Cromwell, it's fast, flowing and unrelenting, with more than 20 corners to tackle. There's a rare bridging section of the track to enable the use of two European-looking forest sections. Getting air takes bravery and then requires a big test of brakes. Highlands can be immensely rewarding, but you cannot afford a lapse in concentration.
It is an amazing location for motor racing. The mountains that surround us still have a little bit of end-of-season snow. It is a stunning backdrop for the New Zealand Endurance Championships. Hi everybody, Greg Rust and Ronan Murphy with you for our coverage here at Highlands Motorsport Park. The weather forecast for the day suggests perhaps some rain just before the main event, the 3 hour. But right now, Ronan, it is glorious here. You've just come from a top 3 finish in the South Island Series, the best of the best from New Zealand are here, aren't they?
Yeah, I think definitely in the 1 hour we've got obviously the Collins Mustang, Hermana Malmazak and the 991 MR Porsche, Marco Giltrap, and some of the other guys in the class 4 and 5 as well, Andre Simon and guys like that. So I think it's going to be seriously competitive today, and yeah, can't wait to see it all unfold.
With the exponential growth in this type of motorsport, the 1 hour has been split into 2 races in order to meet competitor demand. The first 1 hour race will run for Class 4 and 5 cars. Class 4 is 2001 to 3,500cc and Class 5 is for up to 2 litre. The front runners in this race are TCR cars alongside home-built specials with Hondas and Toyota 86 race cars making up the 2 litre field. The second 1 hour race is for the faster Class 2 and 3 cars that includes Porsche Cup cars and Australian Mark cars. Class 3 is for over 3.5 litre and FIA GT4 cars. This race will decide the New Zealand Endurance 1 hour crown. The Collins Mustang comes into the race having won both the North and South Island endurance titles, but faces stiff competition from a big field of Porsches. The 3 hour is a feature race and involves the top teams and drivers in some of the fastest tin-top cars in the country. Currently, these front-running FIA GT3 cars hold outright saloon records at many New Zealand tracks. Below these front-running Class 1 cars, there are Classes 2, 3, 4 and 5 machines, which follow the same specifications and manufacturer eligibility rules as the 1 hour race. There's 2 drivers per entry, and only one of these can be a pro. In 2021, the title was won by Neil Foster and Johnny Reid in an international motorsport Audi. With Foster taking a break from racing, Reid has paired with last year's runner-up Sam Fillmore in the latest Evolution R8.
Joining us now is the series coordinator for the South Island Championships, Kate Bartlett. There is a lot of cachet in the combined, the North versus South, the Tyres New Zealand champs.
Yeah, there certainly is. We've had the North Island Series at the start of the year. Now we've just finished up our South Island Series. So everyone now comes together this weekend to find out who really is the best in New Zealand.
Let's get to it from your point of view. In terms of some of the North Island competitors, they had great representation in the South Island Series in many ways too, didn't they?
Yeah, and they did very well both North and South. You know, the Pedersen boys, father and son pair, they won up in the North Island and they did very well down here as well, getting 3rd overall.
A lot of pride among the South Island contingent hoping to win this today.
Yeah, we've got Sam Fillmore and Johnny Reid who won our series only 2 weeks ago, and they are very, very fast, doing very well yesterday in testing, so we're hoping they will go well today. It's not just what's on the track, it's all the teams in the pit lane. It all comes down to every single member of every team, you know.
Bit of news in the wake of Friday practice or testing. Some big names have hit trouble before we even get into qualifying.
Yeah, unfortunately in the 1 hour there, the one of the Wolfbrook Motorsport Porsches of Bill Riding, there's unfortunately he had an issue down there at turn 1-2 complex. So yeah, really unfortunate to see. You never want to see torn up race cars, but hey, that's what happens when you're pushing the limit.
So that's one of the cars on the sidelines, unfortunately, for the rest of this race meeting. The Collins Mustang team, the 777, they've worked hard overnight to do an engine change on that car, so fingers crossed it's okay for today. The other one, unfortunately, affects your dad. The Renault in the 3 hour was looking like a jet, wasn't it?
Yeah, they was both Shane and Greg were setting some great times yesterday, and hey, it's one of those things. Shane was pushing really hard and he was doing a great job, and unfortunately I think it was actually in a similar spot to the riding Wolfbrook Porsche. It is a tricky part of the racetrack to try and find some time.
Let's take a look at what happened in qualifying.
Compressing qualifying and racing into the same day could be cause for a conservative approach. Not for Brad Rule, outgunning some of the more fancy TCR machines. No rally demos from Tim Mackesy, all precision as he nailed a spot on the front row for the first 1 hour. Andre Simon took a convincing pole position, hoping a string of DNFs this season were well behind him. No time for Marco Schelp to catch his breath, jumping from his BMW for race 1 into the Porsche to qualify for the second 1 hour. He was strong in both. Early on, it was a systems check for the Collins team. Sam muscling his way onto the front row right at the end. Pole went to rising star Marco Giltrap. The session for the 3 hour revealed some of the true pace we hadn't seen on Friday. Paul and Ant Pedersen missed out on the front row by just 200ths. Dan Gaunt parked the McLaren on P2. Pole went to his IMS teammate Johnny Reid, a mind-blowing 1 minute 28.4, smashing the old Highlands record.
It all unfolds off the back of the North Island Championship and the South Island Series. This is a one-shot deal to win the national crown.
So we get set to go.